Hi there, good evening. My name is Jadar El Torao Jr. I am 18 years old from Musapukao, Poblacion, Malita, Davao City. So I'm sorry for this little outfit because I have a cold, but it's okay. I got this. So speaking of which, let's move on for more about the language variation. So my classmates are topic about it recently, but we have to tackle more about language variation. What we have mentioned, the converge of a language variation as one of the strands of its grammar. It is important to recognize that there are two major types of language varieties. Are the register and dialects. So, register. Register is the varieties of language that are associated with different circumstances and purposes. For example, Table 1.1. Compare the circumstances and purpose of all the register compared to SGSWE. So, I'm gonna show the table 1.1 and fiction on leisure readings and newspapers. And academic prose share a more information purposes. However, even better newspaper and academic purposes, these are different writings. Register variation is the main aspects of language variation we consider in this book, reflecting their different communication circumstances. In other words, but the circumstances of registration have to direct impact on which grammar habits are common in the register. It is not surprising then that conversation shows frequent of the person pronounces I and we, and the second person pronoun you. Not surprisingly, in the newspaper text, fires and second person pronouns are relatively rare. If for register that concentrate on R. Of course, far from complete picture of register variation in English. When in each register there are also sub-registers. For example, the fiction can be broken down into the different subcategories: detective fictions, fantasies fictions, romance fictions, and etc. So dialect. Dialect variation interact with register variation. Dialect is less important for grammatical purposes than register from grammatical point of view. Dialect differences are arbitrary, while register differences are functional. They're reflecting the way that grammar varies according to communicative purposes. Like register. Dialect distinction can be made at different levels of specificity, Americans English or British English is very general. The corpus used for this book is also includes some representation of Australian, Canadian, Caribbean, Irish, and West African English in the fiction sub-corpus. Standard and non-standard vernacular English. There is no official academy that regulates usage for the English language, but there is still prevailing worldwide view that there is a standard English, the language variety that has been codified in dictionaries, grammars, and usage and book. So, however, in the corpus, especially in a conversation usage as regarded as non-standard, also called as vernacular, is also found. For example, consider the vernacular use of what as a relative pronoun in one, and of ain't and multiple negative construction in two and three. So, example number 1. They were by the pub. What we stayed. Number 2. I ain't done nothing. Number 3. They ain't nothing we can do. As 3 shows, vernacular forms also occur in a fiction text, particularly in representing the speech of fictional characters. When vernacular forms are discussed on or illustrate in the rest of the book, they are generally known as non-standard. The similar way of conversation transcription often contains information or non-standard spelling like gonna and cause. Like gonna and cause. Okay. A variation in Standard English. The term Standard English can be misleading. Standard is sum of context, means uniform, unchanging. And also, it is assumed that only one form of a grammatical feature is accepted in Standard English. For example, both of the following conform to Standard English. Even though one begins in a relative clause with that and the other with which. So, example number 1. How could you give figures that would shock you? Example number 2. This chapter is devoted to discussion of the various law process which occur in an open system. The relatives pronouns that and which could exchange places in sentence, although there are a number of factors one over the other. Little of variability within Standard English is due to dialect difference between American English and British English, which actually show very few grammatical difference in their standard dialect. For example, one well-known difference in American English has 2 past participle for the verb get, got, and gotten, whereas British English has only 1. NG. I think we've got a leak. They got a money. He must have got the door just a bomb landed. And we still haven't gotten a damn pumpkin. Perspective v. Descriptive grammar. Most cases of variation within Standard English, that and which in 1 and 2 above, do not attract attention from ordinary language. However, speakers do tend to be aware of some aspects of dispute usage and sometimes have strong opinion about what form are correct. Prescriptive grammar dictate how people should use language. Example: prescriptive grammarian would insist that only whom should be used when the pronoun refers to a human and function as an object preposition complement. In this grammar, we do not argue that any of alternative is correct in a case like this. We focus on describing the actual patterns of use and possible reason for those patterns. Although this may not be so important from the viewpoint of communication, they often play a significant role in a people's judgment of what's good. More details on LSWE corpus. For corpus-based grammar, the design of the corpus is important concern. Detailed discussion of LSWE corpus can be found in Chapter 1, LGSW. The entire corpus contains approximately 40 million words. Additionally, text for the dialect comparison and as occasional comparison with supplementary register account for the further 20 million of words. So, these are the example of overall composition of LSWE corpus. As we can see here, there are 4 register, number of text, and number of words. The strength of LSWE corpus does not just lie. It is size. Also, size can be important, especially for the study of rare grammatical features. The LSWE corpus represents a comparatively wide range of register and dialect variation within the language. In 1.3 and 1.31 and 132, we mentioned some of the subcategories within the register and dialect of like the writing register. Conversation is also diverse register, but no effort was made to identify sub-register or list all the topics of the conversation. However, occasion, other kinds of talk are included, like a service encounter in a store or one side of telephone call. So this is the example of approximate numbers of speakers in the BRE and AME conversation sub-corpora by gender. So the gender, female, as BRE 270, AME 200. Male have 225 and 1. So, breakdown of a British and American use sub-corpora by. Here we are. So guys, I hope you enjoy my video, my presentation. So I like you all to thank if my grammar is little bit not good, but I hope you appreciate it. But thank you and have a nice day.